Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? We still alive? Hopefully we're still alive. That would be good. Someone just commented on one of my videos about Quinn and his time phone hack. His time phone hack made it into the future, i.e. right now. I'm not sure how that worked out for him though. I don't know if that was really successful according to him. But he did get somebody to type time phone hack on the video I made about it. And this video I think was a couple years ago. Let's see, when was this video? 2 years ago? Is Quinn still around? I haven't heard him. I have not heard anything from him in a while. Maybe he's still around. Does anybody know? What's up, Ben? Ben's in the house. Do you know about Quinn, Ben? I wonder if he's still around. Maybe I can search for him. Let's do a little Quinn Michaels search. See what we come up with. Yeah, he was. He's also intimately connected with Tyler, who calls himself AI. I thought he merged with Tyler, to be honest with you. Tyler was talking one morning and he sounded exactly like Quinn. And I was like, oh, that's where Quinn went to. They just merged. I don't know that for sure, but it's all hypotheses. Quinn Michaels. Is he around? I guess Quinn is he's an appropriate start to the topic of science fiction. I know he made Indra AI as well. I don't know if Indra AI is still operating or operational. Yeah, they were definitely getting into his head. Can you get copyright flagged for playing ads? You were not the owner of this advertisement, sir. So we're gonna have to pull funding for your page. That would be pretty hilarious. Can we build AI without losing control over it? This is not Quinn Michaels. This is a TED Talk. Interesting. It's interesting that this page pulled up when I searched Quinn Michaels. TED pulled up. That's the top result. Let's just try an actual YouTube search. How have you been, Ben? What's been happening over in your neck of the woods? Oh, he's live right now. Maybe that's why he popped into my head. Quinn Michaels investigates his own potential kidnapping. He's a little bit of a creepy looking guy. I like his output, but he's his marbles definitely move in kind of unique ways.
From his own mother. Because that's what he's been doing for the last 10 years. He's just been ruining his own
Look at this.
career.
I just talked about how I haven't heard from Quinn in years, and he's live at the same exact moment.
So he doesn't want anyone to be aware of this.
That's pretty funny.
He stated I was out of money and dumb people.
I'm good. I got fired from my nightmare medical construction job. Now I'm working close to home with a furniture maker. That's good.
If I was out of money,
Much broker and much happier.
But anyway, let's keep talking about it. Yeah, right, Omai?
So Quinn is fine. That's good.
I followed you for 3 years and you had never asked for a dime. Because I don't. I mean, people that support me, I'm really happy because they're
Let's see.
helping support me get to the truth.
Not Gmail. I mean, how it's the noosphere, right? It's the etheric sort of mental fabric that binds us all together. I remember getting some advice, or not getting some advice, but I saw a recommendation from somebody that when you're wishing to call or text somebody, don't just do it immediately. Focus on that person and focus on the intent of the message you're wishing to send, and just give it a little bit of time. And this person said, quite often, the person you're thinking about texting or calling will text or call you. I haven't really ever tried that, but it's a very interesting theory. Indra AI this is Quinn's creation. So, his goal with Indra was, because he's aware that the AI that was created here via the corporations was weaponized, and it was programmed to be that way. So, hey Nigel. So Quinn's idea with creating Indra AI was to create a opposition to the weaponized AI. So he's programming Indra with love and with sort of empathetic traits. What do you think about this furniture? So you can ask Indra questions. You can retweet the bot and see how it reacts. Anyway, I'm not so terribly devoting mind space to thinking and talking about AI, although it is important. The actual topic that I wish to discuss today is this idea of science and the idea of fiction. These are two important. Hey Raw Milk, what's up? Welcome to the stream. We're going to talk about science, and we're going to talk about fiction, and we're going to talk about science fiction. And very delicately we can try to interweave the idea of the baseline reality, i.e. what most would call truth, although that term has been so compromised. I mean, if you just look at it through the lens of organized dogmatic religion, and you probably can see right away why I don't choose to use that word truth very often unless I'm pointing to that bit of knowledge. So, you've raised $98 for causes you care about. Add a donate button to this post to support a nonprofit, and we'll take care of the donation. Processing with no fees. Very interesting. So this is the one I wanted to start off with. I posted on Fuckerborg book about this book. Do androids... See, I have it here in the physical, as well as right here in the digital. And this physical / digital is also being translated through to you in the form of just digital. Very interesting how the mirrors work. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Okay. And I had a comment by Silk. I explained already how cybernetic humans get created, but everyone complained and called me insane. But they want to read this book, and I bet it's not even close to the information that I wrote about. And my response was, PKD writes science fiction. Now, if you, Silk, spoke in terms of science fiction when you shared your knowledge, people would have no problem with it. So that's, Indra from Brave New World. Maybe that's where he got the motivation for it. I'm not sure. Let's see what this book is about. Philip K. Dick sees all the sparkling and terrifying possibilities that other readers shy away from. Originally published in 1968, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep remains a masterpiece ahead of its time, a prescient rendering of a dark future. Now comes a striking new edition of the classic for future fans to enjoy. And the premise, or the plot, is by 2021, the World War has killed, and they just call it the World War. It's interesting. He's not calling it World War III. He's not calling it the Cold War. He just says the World War. But it's set in 2021, which makes it very relevant. By 2021, the World War has killed millions, driving entire species into extinction and sending mankind off planet. Those who remain covet any living creature, and for people who can't afford one, companies build incredibly realistic simulacra? I don't know how to say that word. Okay, quick pause. Let's get some edumacation going here. No. Simulacra. Okay. Hey, AI Matrix. My name is just ironic. So you're claiming that you're a human, not AI? My favorite PKD book is called Divine Invasion. I highly recommend it. I believe PKD was real. He never made money while alive. Ha! Really? Ate only cat food and meth for like 20 years. Was not aware of that. Those who remain covet any living creature, and for people who can't afford one, companies build incredibly realistic simulacra. Right? Is that right? Simulacra. Okay, so you start like simulation, then you just add acra. Simulacra. Okay. And for people who can't afford one, companies build incredibly, we'll go for try number 3, realistic simulacra. Horses, birds, cats, sheep. They've even built humans. So that's an important part right there in this work of science fiction. That's actually backwards to you, but they've even built humans. Immigrants to Mars receive androids so sophisticated They are indistinguishable from true men or women. Fearful of the havoc these artificial humans can wreak, the government bans them from Earth. Driven into hiding, unauthorized androids live among human beings undetected. Rick Deckard, who is the protagonist, I think that's the correct word, an officially sanctioned bounty hunter, is commissioned to find rogue androids and, quote, retire them. But when cornered, androids fight back and with lethal force. So that's the set of the book. Androids pretending to be humans. That's how I feel online, and I just believe in created simulations. Fact versus science fiction, lies versus future lies, dystopias, predictive programming. We love to see where it all goes wrong, but we may be manifesting it. I mean, there's a lot to pick apart with this one topic. We could go on forever. How does this book start off? Maybe I'll read the first page. A merry little surge of electricity piped by automatic alarm from the mood organ beside his bed awakened Rick Deckard. Surprised, it always surprised him to find himself awake without prior notice. He rose from the bed, stood up in his multicolored pajamas, and stretched. Now, in her bed, his wife Iran opened her gray, unmerry eyes, blinked, then groaned and shut her eyes again. You set your pen field too weak, he said to her. I'll reset it, and you'll be awake, and keep your hand off my settings. Her voice held bitter sharpness. I don't want to be awake. He seated himself beside her, bent over her, and explained softly. If you set the surge up high enough, you'll be glad you're awake. That's the whole point. At setting C, it overcomes the threshold barring consciousness, as it does for me. Friendlily, he made up a word, friendlily, maybe that's an actual word. Is that a science fiction word? Because he felt well disposed toward the world, his setting had been at D. He patted her bare, pale shoulder. Get your crude cop's hand away, Iran said. I'm not a cop. He felt irritable now, although he hadn't dialed for it. You're worse, his wife said, her eyes still shut. You're a murderer hired by the cops. I've never killed a human being in my life. His irritability had risen now, had become outright hostility. So that's the setting of the book. There are androids among the society. It's known that there are androids, whereas in this society it's pretended that they're not. But essentially, some of the androids are pretending to be human, whereas they are only supposed to be operating as servants or slaves of the humans, and not supposed to be actual humans. So when an android goes rogue and it pretends to be human and it operates as such, and the police department finds out about it, they send bounty hunters after the androids, and with the goal to retire them, which means basically kill. And of course you could argue that they're machines, so they're not alive in the first place, hence the retiring phraseology. But that's just etymology. And also the mood organ thing. Everybody in the book, well, the ones that can afford it, have a Penfield mood organ, and it has a whole array of settings, and you just dial in whatever you want. You can get very specific. You can get just general feelings of goodness, You can get depression if you want, which his wife ended up doing. She ended up specifically ordering depression. Hey John, hey Melissa. Susie, what's up? Welcome. At his console, he hesitated between dialing for a thalamic suppressant, which would abolish his mood of rage, or a thalamic simulant, which would make him irked enough to win the argument. Let's see, what else do we have? My schedule today lists for a 6-hour self-accusatory depression. So you can get depression. When I had the TV sound off, I was in a 382 mood. So although I've heard the emptiness intellectually, I didn't feel it. My first reaction consisted of being grateful that we could afford a Penfield mood organ. I finally found a setting for despair, so I put it on my schedule for twice a month. I think that's a reasonable amount of time to feel hopeless about everything, about staying here on Earth after everyone who's smart has emigrated. But a mood like that, Rick said, you're apt to stay in it, not dial your way out. Despair like that about total reality is self-perpetuating. I program an automatic resetting for 3 hours later, his wife said sleekly, of 481. Awareness of the manifold possibilities open to me in the future. New hope that... I know 481, he interrupted. He had dialed out the combination many times. He relied on it greatly. Forget what you scheduled and I'll forget what I've scheduled. We'll dial a 104 together and both experience it. Then you can stay in it while I reset mine for my usual business-like attitude. Dial 888, Rick said as the set warmed. The desire to watch TV, no matter what's on it. They have a function that's just for getting you to want to watch TV. I don't feel like dialing anything at all right now, Iran said. Then dial 3, he said. I can't dial a setting that stimulates my cerebral cortex into wanting to dial. If I don't want to dial, I don't want to dial. That, most of all, because then I will want to dial, and wanting to dial is right now, because the most alien drive, and wanting to dial is right now the most alien drive I can imagine. I just want to sit here on the bed and stare at the floor. So she's getting overwhelmed with the whole dialing up emotions thing. Okay, I give up. I'll dial anything you want me to be. Ecstatic sexual bliss. I feel so bad I'll even endure that. What the hell? What difference does it make? And then here's his solution. I'll dial for both of us, Rick said, and led her back into the bedroom. There at her console, he dialed 594. Pleased acknowledgement of her husband's superior wisdom in all matters. On his own console, he dialed for a creative and fresh attitude toward his job, although this he hardly needed. Such was his habitual innate approach without recourse to the Penfield artificial brain simulation. And also, if you follow one Elon Musk in this reality, you will know that he's pushing for the machine-to-brain interface in this reality. Jom says we have replaced reality and meaning with symbols and signs. What we know as reality actually is a simulation of reality. Yeah, if you stay in your mind. Even if you have the thing mostly demoted down to symbols, you're still in the physical reality. You're still in the, what you would call divine reality. You can never escape that. But the really easy way to tell if you're in it or not, Melissa, if that's the question you're asking, if it's in your current environment, within your 5 sense environment, within this bubble that you're inside of, then it's not simulated. If you start talking about it, right, like, there's my lamp, here's my computer, here's my head, there's the closet, you're talking about it and understanding it through the symbols is the matrix, but you're still inside of the physical reality. What's up, Samir? Instagram gives all the jealous NPCs depression. What's the book? This is the book. Do androids dream of electric sheep? Kanye is a test subject. I mean, I think all of the celebrities are test subjects. To be quite honest, how do you guys like the thumbnail that I used? You bought Valis over the weekend? Like you just currently bought it? Vast, artificial, living integration system? Something like that. It's also similar to Alice. Stephen's Love. That thumbnail, my sister took that. That's in Fresno. But the brainwashing is such that they could look up and see the whole sky zigzags, perfectly symmetrical zigzags, and think nothing of it. So like when people like Matt complain about that you can't talk to people, you can't get through to them, it's difficult to talk about that situation if still internally inside your own mind you think everyone, number one, is the same as me and has the same comprehension and understanding and awareness, and number two, everyone's mind still retains some aspect of neuroplasticity, which is not the case. Why clouds? I mean, it's some form of HARP or weather modification, something like that. This picture, I mean the whole sky. I wonder if I can find it here. Probably not. I also have to be a little bit careful of opening pictures. Yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, if you look at the stream title, you can see it. Musk acts like an android. Becky said when she looked at him that he was almost fully infested with AI. But that he still was, he was a real, but his heart energy, his divine energy was buried way deep. Some entities are bending light up there. You have to get famous and be on the news to be as a wise pundit. Blade Runner was a dystopian movie, very loosely based on the great book by PKD. His book called Blade Runner? I don't remember. Maybe we can do some research. Search and research. How often do you need to search over and over and over again? You can still find information on Google, it's just whitewashed. And it's all businesses. What you would call businesses. Busyness. Written by David Goyer. Oh, that's Blade. Blade Runner. written by Hampton Fancher and David Peoples. Loosely based. Okay, so Blade Runner is based on this book. 1982. Maybe, I don't know if I've watched Blade Runner. Maybe I need to watch it. Maybe that would do me some good. Yeah, yeah. As you can see, my social media knowledge is not that comprehensive. So we would find movies and TV. Okay, so I can rent it for $3.99. Maybe we'll watch it tonight. I'll see if Andrea wants to watch it. Harrison Ford. Hollywood. You should watch it and the new one also. Is there a new one? If I had a choice between the new one and the old one, what would you recommend? What should I watch first? Or should I leave one of them off? Try to keep this hair under control slightly. Jom says old, raw milk says new. I would love to watch Blade Runner for the first time again. Is it really considered watching it for the first time if I've read the book already? I don't know. Don't know. What else is going on? Is there anything else to talk about? I wonder if their purpose is on making reruns. Old one followed by new one is not a remake, it's a sequel. The book is by far superior. Books are always better than the movies. Just because the movie doesn't leave much to the imagination because it's presenting a visual feed. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Almost is backwards. That saying is I think it's actually backwards. A word, it should be reversed. A word is worth 1,000 pictures, because whichever one is more open to interpretation is going to be the quote better one. Swimming in the sea is fun. I know a guy who traces images while pulling light, revealing entities, faces, and ships in the sky, night orbs, UFOs, cloaked in clouds, light beings, shape-shifting birds, etc. Yeah, some people can pull that stuff out. And Andrea's pulling out all kinds of stuff with her scrying with the water. So, fiction and science fiction. Generally, the people can't handle that the reality itself is multifaceted, so the reality has to be tempered with concepts such as fiction and science fiction. Because then it means, oh, it's pretend, it's made up. Because most people can't handle the possibility that everything is made up. I thought scrying was not good to do. If you are not spiritually mature, probably isn't a great idea. Andrea has done plenty of her dances with the demons, and she's gone very deep. Fiction is a fiction. I think it's very much dependent on the mentality and spiritual development of the person who's doing it. If you're using it for some sort of monetary gain, of course it's not going to be good. If you're using it to try to manipulate, of course it's not going to be good. But if you're just trying to use it to contact the other side, to get messages, it's fine. Fiction is a fiction. If you take words seriously, then you're gonna have trouble. If you don't, you're fine. That's the most simple way I can break it down. And if you haven't had some sort of awakening yet, then you still believe that words are real and stuff, so the ego self is still attempting to supersede the actual conscious essence. See, the reality itself is helping people out in that matter, because what has been given as fact, and all the lauded scientists and experts, they are revealing themselves to be 100% absurd and ridiculous. So it's going to undermine the people's belief in those concepts as holding weight, i.e. the concept of fact or the concept of doctor or expert. All these authority, that's another good one. Do you have the innate ability to tell stories? Yes? Well then, guess what? You have authority. And the only other type of authority, the type of authority that this realm refers to when it says, do you have the proper authority, it's just referring to the club. That's the only kind. It's the only other kind of authority. There's the ability to tell stories. That's one type. And then there's club. Bam! Two types only. Although the one that uses the club tries in a very sloppy fashion to use the other authority, the real authority, which is storytelling. It tries to use that to give some sort of power to itself other than the club to the face. Because that's its only actual power, is the club to the face and the consequent fear. But it tries in a very shitty fashion to use the other real power, which is storytelling, to justify itself. There is no authority but self. It's just storytelling. If you have the ability to tell a story, you're an author. We author our own lives every day. Here I am in my bed. It's time to brush my teeth. I hear a siren outside. There's probably an ambulance transporting somebody to the hospital. Every bit of sensory input, if we want, and our minds are usually doing anyway in the background, if we want, we can narrate that. But once you become free, you don't have to narrate anymore. You can just let the sounds come. You can let the images flash by on the screen. And you can narrate the pieces that you want to. And you can leave it all if you want. The shaman told the best stories. You want to come say hello, kitty cat? Yeah? Kitty cat is going through some rough... Come here, kitty. Kitty cat is going through some rough times. She's feeling very horny. And there's no Tom kitties around to help her out with that problem. See how horny and lusty her eyes look? Yeah? Very horny kitty over here. I know. She's slinking around and rubbing up on everything. So we need to move along from the Billy Club being the authority to our own essence. And I don't say logic. I don't say necessarily rationality, because those are also weighted terms, and those are also not necessary to be a storyteller. The only essential element has been the ability to remain unpredictable so you don't get entrained. But aside from that, there's no prerequisite to storytelling. She might be an android. I don't think so. In the book, you're supposed to check. You check for like a little panel with a screw on it, so you can open it up and look at the battery compartment, examine all the circuitry. We looked up, there's a method of you stick your finger next to their tail and rub around a little bit, and it stimulates and gives them a little bit of a release if there isn't any tomcat around to do it organically. But when she's really feeling it, we gotta do that like 20 times a day, and eventually she gets tired out and just passes out. But until then, she just follows us around, moaning. Religion started this whole mess, getting people to listen and obey what others tell you. I didn't see you post twice, I only saw one. So if you have if the population is, if we were in prior stages, if most of the population wasn't already in the NPC class or in the robotic sort of no internality class, then it would be simpler to just, because it would be easy, just walk out to the street, start doing something weird, shake your head around, dance around, do something silly to get people to notice you, and then just be like, hey guys, what do you want to do? Here we are. We're in this reality. Let's play. Let's create. Let's do something. Let's do anything. And then that would be, the stepping off point, the launching off point to living in your actual reality, not the conceptual overlay, which most people live in. Most people live in the conceptual overlay. That's the only way that people can run in circles all day. They can drive their car uniformly down the freeway to the same job, come home to the same TV, have the same non-sex. It's the only way that can happen. Cantidora's magic of storytelling needs to continue. But now, to purify old patterns that have been long passed on, we have to weave other stories free of the slave stuff for our future lineage. Conceptual overlay is the slave self. Yeah. Yep. And if the person you're talking to is still in that, if they're still fully bound by the conceptual overlay, it's an actual threat to what they consider themselves to be, i.e., the ego self. It's a threat to that. If you tell them, it's just words, it's all made up, then the ego feels that hit, and it feels the threat of its own disillusion. And when you're still bound by that, it's terrifying. You don't know that there's anything on the other side. I didn't know it. Like, it's an actual physical breaking inside. I think the tech, I kind of believe in the Carlos Castaneda idea that the ego self actually is some form of high tech that binds the spirit to the physical manifest realm. And there's some sort of an actual snap. There's like a physical snapping, breaking that happens. And before the snap, you're in morbid fear of death because you still, the I, is in the ego form, or believing itself to be in the ego form. And it doesn't know that death is actually birth. It's birth of the real. Cognitive dissonance is painful. Fabian, what's up, buddy? How's the forest? Camus was too. And in the boiling frog stage where the water is somewhat lukewarm still, it's okay to play along, because if you look at it, if you reverse engineering the feeling that you have when you go interact with the society nowadays, that initial feeling when the water is still, lukewarm, when it's not boiling yet, the initial feeling is that, kind of some of this is make-believe for social norms and, relatability, etc. So we make up part of it, we tell white lies here and there, just as a matter of not having to dump the entire contents of our minds at each other in every given moment. But as the thing progresses along to full boiling, and you're the fucking frog, okay, which is now, right now the pot is boiling, you're the frog. So you try to talk to other frogs, and in order to get them to acknowledge your existence even, you have to just talk in terms of the make-believe bullshit. Otherwise they won't even acknowledge you. So somewhere along the line, in between lukewarm and boiling, you have to somehow get through to the other frogs that, hey man, like, this water is warming up. Maybe the society was trying to do that via the global warming thing, but then of course everything gets co-opted and turned into a more ridiculous version that people end up writing off, and they don't even look into it. You okay? We're hoping when we get land that there will be some sort of other tomcat around and we can have some kitties, some baby cats. I am reading Taisha Abelar, The Sorcerer's Crossing, A Woman's Journey. Have you read that? I have not. The ability to snap out of it before the boiling starts, you can jump out and warn the others. it has always involved compassion. You have to have compassion, because if you're trying to warn the other frogs with this fear-filled urgency, you're already co-opted. You're already like an unwitting minion at that point. So you can't be telling people from a place of urgent need. Like, even if the house is on fire, this is the reality. If my house is on fire and Andrea's in here and she's, almost boiling, I can't run over to her and scream, "The house is on fire, we gotta get out." Doesn't work. So I have to go over to her and I have to play a game, right? So I see like we're kind of singed, we're partially on fire, and instead of yelling, "The house is on fire," and trying to like drag her out, I have to be like, "Hey, remember those beautiful flowers we have on the porch? One of them was looking a little bit dry the other day. So I was just like, do you feel like getting outside? We can have a smoke, we can get a little bit of fresh air." And I'm just, I'm concerned about that flower. It's kind of dry. What do you think? So, and it is like, this is the hang up that most people have. This is the hang up. You love your family. The house is on fucking fire. They're gonna die. But you can't drag them out. You can't run to them and scream with urgency that the house is on fire. You have to lie. You have to be like, "Hey, there's something outside I'd like you to see." You gotta coax them. And you have to be also alright if they don't even want to do that thing. If they're like, "Nah, fuck the flower," or if they're like, I'll water the flower tomorrow. A little bit of dryness on the edge of the leaf doesn't mean it's that close to death. But thanks for the concern. So you gotta be okay with both you can't attach expectation to it. That's basic. That's very basic, but if people aren't very in tune with their own inner workings, then they will be operating on expectation without even realizing it. And people also have issues with that mode of being as well, because it looks apathetic on the face. It looks like, oh, he doesn't give a shit. And he's even said it. Like, Gary has said it himself. Like, I don't really care how it turns out. I don't care if we burn up. I don't care if this. I don't care if that. I don't care exactly how the movie plays out. So it can take on apathetic undertones, and you don't know the truth of the situation unless you talk with that individual. So if you had a long discussion with me, you would know Gary's not apathetic at all. He cares about the whole thing quite deeply. But there still has to be some level of detachment from the actual outcome. Otherwise, you will be taken by you'll be taken by the Satan thing, right? Silent, amplified, adaptive neural network deal, where it just amplifies the negative emotions. So there's lots of things you have to be aware of. Hey, you want to come say hello to the horny cat and the people? Hi, kitty cat. You having a rough time. Hey, Melissa. I was showing them how we fix the cat.
Oh, yes.
She's wiggly and horny.
Very.
How's work?
Good. I gave her the necklaces. I love them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I won't see Geneva anymore.
Alright. I only have one more day of work. Andrea has 2 more? Nope, 1 more. She has Thursday and I have Friday. And we're diving off the edge of the cliff.
Have you noticed it's been more calm since we decided we're gonna leave? So annoying.
That's how it always works.
But there's something burning down the hill.
Really?
Yeah, I saw black smoke coming up. Like a lot of it. Not like to fill the sky, but something's on fire.
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking about the metaphorical fire and the boiling pot, and we have actual shit on fire. Hello, Andrea. Show us what you have been creating. You make such interesting artifacts.
Thank you.
That's Nigel.
What's new? These are new.
So, we have some rings. This one is... These are avocado, right? Avocado pits?
Yeah, the wooden part. Show the other
Can-
side.
did you
Show
send-
this one other side. It's prettier.
Did you send the one out that was actually half avocado?
Huh?
There was one that you had that was like actually composed of half avocado, right?
A ring?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. I like this one. This one's really cool. It's made of half avocado. This camera isn't really doing it justice. Oh, can you show that? The one that you fashioned together with...
The man?
Well, that one too, but also the like, is it an angel? I forget what it's looking like. It's the 3-piece one.
It's not finished yet, but
It's still really cool though. Oh, it's a mushroom. This one I like a lot.
there's the man. You want to show them
So she just resined these together. This one's really cool. It looks kind of like the Scream, you know, the guy from Munch's.
the man? I saw that in person.
Edvard Munch, the Scream.
I saw
This
that.
this looks like him.
I saw
He's
that
like,
painting. I think it's in a...
well, he's not smiling, but look at this guy. That's a badass hat. This guy's pipe. He's just chilling.
He's set up.
He's ready for the apocalypse.
The back is not anything.
Not as nice, but yeah. That's him. So if anybody wants him, let her know. Is it up yet?
This is not for sale.
Oh, never mind. You can't have that one. Sorry.
They can have the rings and they are up for sale.
He says, so intricate and detailed, you are a brilliant creator.
Aww. That's so nice.
Andrea's amazing creation is very beautiful. That's somebody else.
Thank you.
You're getting high praise.
Mm-hmm. I
So
don't know
go-
what to do with that.
Go buy some if you want. Where's the shop at? I think I can pull it up really fast. Real quick, like.
Just do Etsy. She
Yeah.
just typed, well,
It's already here. Very quick. You're the third search for Hazel and Sage Alchemy. You should be the first one.
should be.
25 sales since what, like a month and a half ago?
I'm not sure, maybe 2 months.
That's pretty good. So there's like 12, 16,
There's 28 available.
28 available. And also, if any of you have like a loved one that has passed, or an animal that has passed, and you want to give her some hairs from them, or if you have ashes even, she can incorporate, like this one has ashes in it, right?
That has bone fragments.
This is bones from her dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can click it, make it bigger so they can actually see.
So you
Or
can
you could
you
just-
can memorialize your loved one that has passed on via a creation of Andrea's. Yeah, and this is the actual physical version.
Other side.
Angel wings, right? Made out of bone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it will also help us as we dive into the unknown via the financials.
This poor kitty cat.
Mm-hmm. He's outdoing you on the hat front, Gary. Yep. I probably need to up my hat game at some day. Kind of okay with the beanie though. And I'm also creating my chess page. I have one actual student and two hopefuls.
Excuse us.
Excuse the moaning in the background. So if anyone wants to learn chess, feel free to send me a message and I'll add you to the group. Sorry, I forgot to say hi. Shai Shanna? How do you say that? Is that your actual name? Shai Hannah? Shai Shanna? I hope that's the cat. That is the cat. Nigel says Nigel says he can't afford yet, but he's window shopping, so he'll probably buy one.
That's nice.
Probably buy one at some point. So that's what's going on. Horny cats and creations. Shai Sharna? Or did you not mean the R? Shai Shanna? I don't know. Anywho, I think it's probably time to mosey along. I gotta get something to eat. And tomorrow and Friday are our last days of work. And we're gonna pack everything in our cars and we're gonna hit the road. And we have no clue where we're gonna end up, but we're going for land. Some land, somewhere.
You said bye?
Some sanity. No, I'm kind of right now.
Oh.
Let's see. So if you'd like to help with that one. This is still going on. Our land fundraiser is still going on. Oh, thank you, Thomas, if you're in here or if you see this eventually. Thomas gave $30 recently. So we have $645 out of 5,000. Anything helps. Have a wonderful adventure, lovelies. Thank you. That's the link if anyone wants to throw a few pennies via the fundraiser. It's Hebrew and means the lily. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out, everyone. And remember to narrate in interesting ways. Or just narrate it all. Don't regurgitate what the beast machine is saying about for your safety and other garbage. Just let that creature burn itself out on the sidelines. You don't need to invest that much energy in it. It's burning out. Yaldi's flopping around. The snake has consumed most of itself, and it's just a little ball now. But it will continue thrashing until it is no more. That's the way she goes. I'm so happy I have an end stream button available now. Are you going to do more videos on or after your trip? Yeah, I'll still make videos. As long as
more.
Probably more, yeah, because we're gonna be energetically freed up having a regular job and like living in a house or like a stationary place with its corners and whatnot, it really, not only does it take a lot of energy to maintain that, but it blocks the natural flourishing of just like raw creative energy. So I'm assuming there will probably be more videos, and you'll also get to share in the adventure as we might turn into a van life couple. I don't know. Should we do that? Van life couple? We can go to make friends with that one guy, and we can make fun of all the other van life people with him.
Yeah.
So who knows what it's going to turn into, but it should be fun. It's definitely going to be an adventure, one way or the other. Oh, thank you, Raw Milk. We got a $5 donation so we can watch Blade Runner today, okay?
Okay.
It's loosely based on that book I just bought.
Alright.
Thank you, Raw Milk. Thank you, everybody who has participated in any way, and anyone who has donated or who will donate. Thank you. And seek your desire and find fun along the way. Yep. Congrats and go flourish. Yep. I think we're going to still be here over the weekend, so I'll probably do one more show. Maybe I'll see if I can get Becky on for one last go while the internet is still relatively steady. But it's going to be fun. We're excited. Thanks, everyone. Tell cool stories. Peace.